Welcome to Planet Pluto Pseudo.
What's happening, good people? Yo, did you see the little woke man down there? He was like, woke. Did y'all see that? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, good people? Welcome to the dopest podcast about professionalism and the barber and beauty industry. That's right. We're talking about Planet Pluto Pseudo. It is me, your homegirl, Ladosha Wright, a.k.a. Lolo. And then over there, you see who that is. That is my partner, my PNC, my partner in the cosmetology, the one and only, the unapologetically brilliant Cheryl Morrow, the hair oracle, affectionately coined by none other than Hair Savant, who, by the way, not trying to put all his business out there, but he and I will be meeting each other at the Afro Hair Summit Toledo. It's going down on Monday, October the 23rd. Hey, tickets are moving, but we still have some room. So we want you guys to come on and get those tickets. Remember to visit afrohairscience.com. My boss, Lavina, is in the chat. What's up, Lavina? Don't forget to do what? Drop them L's. That's right. Everybody, let's drop an L in the chat for my boss. Lavina is out there doing the dang on thing in the world of outreach. She's just so dedicated. I see you in the chat. What's up, Miss Sophia? LaWanda Bennett, our newest family member. We are always so delighted to see you. So thank you so much for rocking it out with us. Remember, on this particular platform, now remember, this content is pretty much geared towards your licensed barber, cosmetologist, your natural hairstylist, and of course, just your hair aficionado. So even if you're not a professional or licensed, it's cool, but we're just kind of like the nerds up over here, and we're going to bust them pseudos down. So if you're over here on that pseudo junk, don't worry. Cheryl going to get you. Get them, Cheryl. Get them. You get them, and I'll just get it started. That's just like a chicken. Remember that? I'm a chicken hawk, and I'm going to get me some chickens. And then here comes Foghorn Leghorn saying, I say, Kilolo. Cut that out. What's going on, Beauty Conscious? I see you in the chat. How you doing out there? So, Cheryl, you got that pink comb in your hair. So tell us what's going down with the pink comb.
All cosmetologists, natural hair, anybody who is beauty conscious or beauty enthusiast. Comb style pink for October.
All right, comb style pink. What's the comb style pink? Break that down.
This is Mr. Morrow's comb, 1973, the only patented comb that was designed for Afro curly hair, 1971. So at the end of the day, we keeping it real authentic and really, generational, trying to keep it going. And so we do pink combs for various awareness months. So as cosmetologists and professionals and natural hair clinicians, just anybody who is about hair and fashion, just make sure that we lead in society consciousness, and we are here to support our clients who are survivors, and that's what we do.
That's right. We do. We have a lot of survivors of various forms of cancer, but breast cancer, if you haven't had your boobs smashed in that machine, go get it. The only thing I don't like about the mammogram, I feel like if they smash these down, they should stay down. Anybody out here with the big hooters agree? I mean, when I'm like, come on, why ain't got to come back? Because they smashed that boob. I'm telling you, if you haven't had a breast examination, dude, that's got to be the most interesting violation to keep you alive that I've ever. I'm like, but don't worry. You don't have to have these big mamas up here. I can put a plate up here Hey, that machine can get small ones, it can get big ones. So get your hooters inside that machine and they'll get it down there and they try to help you out though, but it's traumatizing, but it's good for your health. And so, but you can get your pink comb by visiting afrohairscience.com. The funds that we get from those sales are going to go towards a worthy cause. So by all means, get your comb and maybe when we come back next week, we could talk about your father's patent because people want to know how you patent a comb for Afro coiled hair. This is to be interesting. What's up, Pink Styles? I see you. She said, come on, let's go. Come through. So today we are going to have a wonderful discussion. The topic is very it's going to be content heavy because remember now you are on Planet Pluto Pseudo. So if you got your telescope and you got your microscope or you're on your mothership connection, however you got over here, stay here with us. The topic tonight is about the education of cosmetology in the scope of Natrualsphere. So this one is very interesting because we're going to start off talking about the education in cosmetology. And then, of course, how is this natural world like really influencing our industry? We do have a clip from our documentary that we're going to use to kind of transition us from cosmetology and then over into Natrualsphere. Sure, you also sent me a clip from one of the influencers here on YouTube, and we'll kind of scrub through some of her YouTube content and just talk about this whole world of the Natrualsphere and how is the education in cosmetology and barbering, are they preparing us to kind of deal with what's happening? And then don't forget now, y'all know over on Planet Pluto Pseudo, we just can't be out here just talking smack, right? So our book of the month, in case you haven't got it, please get it. It is by Naomi Klein and it is called Doppelganger. And so what we are doing with this book is we are drawing on the parallels of how she's just trying to figure out the phenomenon of Trumpsters, and all of the fake vaxxers, like we're
Right.
trying to figure out how y'all falling for this stuff? How are people falling for the natural hair movement? Cheryl and I, we just can't figure it out. So I saw Naomi Klein on Democracy Now! She has some other great books out, by the way. But this one is a page turner. It really is a good book. I can't put it down. It's a great book. Last month, we talked about our other book was Styling Jim Crow, and that's by Julia Kirk Blackwelder. Now, if you are a licensed cosmetologist, I hate to bully you into getting the book, but y'all ass better get this book. I can't think of any book that captures all of the people that Cheryl talks about. Sarah Spencer Washington, Annie Turbo Malone, Madam C.J. Walker, Marjorie Stewart Joyner. Every single name that you hear Cheryl talk about, you're going to get the history. You probably won't get it in cosmetology school. So please get this book. You will have to go to Texas A&M University to order it. I don't think you can get that on Google, but it's worth the search. So get off Amazon, okay? But in the meantime, Doppelganger. So we're going to draw some parallels as we have this wonderful discussion. But y'all know how we do it before we get started, right? We have to do a get real. So because the content is so heavy, I'm just going to do one get real. But are you guys ready to get real? You guys are going to love it. This one came from Cheryl. Cheryl sent this to me. Cheryl, like, what you done did, Naki Lolo? Hold on now. Hold on. So this one is going to be interesting. We're going to get real with a young lady from Africa. And so I think you guys are going to enjoy this one. And we'll just politic on it as we build up into our sixth episode right here on Planet Pluto Pseudo as we talk about the education and barbering and cosmetology in the scope of Natrualsphere. So all of my aficionados, come on and partner with us. Here we go, y'all. We're about to get real. You ready, Cheryl?
Ready.
Here we go.
Hairstylist. Well, this is authentic African hair, Afro-African. I like to keep everything authentic. It's not easy to maintain it. I have to do things every night so that during the day it's all fluffy.
So it's always fluffy style?
Yeah, but if I want, I can straighten it and then it becomes European. I'll lose my authenticity. Yeah.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Did you guys like that one? Hey, anybody? She says that is some authentic African hair. Come on, chat, wake up. What do you guys think about her authentic African hair? What, did you like that African hair? I'm just gonna, okay, you guys are being a little conservative tonight. So y'all know me, Kilo. I'm gonna go ahead and get this shit started up in here, okay? So here's the thing. Her hair made her more African than her skin color. You said, was it a wig? What's up, Lisa?
Okay. There you go.
You thought it was a wig?
No, that's the point. She talked about it like she could take it off.
Okay. So what do you mean she talked about it like? Because I'm like, girl, what you
said? This. She didn't say my hair.
Hold on. Let me get this. Okay, Lisa, like she sure did. Let me play it again. We about to get some shit started up in here. Let's play it one more time. Here we go.
Hairstylist.
Well, this is authentic African hair, Afro-African. I like to keep everything authentic. It's not easy to maintain it. I have to do things every night so that during the day it's all fluffy.
So it's always fluffy style?
Yeah, but if I want, I can straighten it and then it becomes European. I'll lose my authenticity. Yeah.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Okay, little Boosie. Oh, little Boosie gonna be like, what y'all doing with my damn mean? Yes, you're right, Lisa. Okay, I missed that one. See, I'm very super. I mean, she did. You're right, Pink. She did. She said this is authentic. I don't.
Hey, what was she talking about? Why was she talking about herself like that?
I don't understand. How does our hair make us African? I just want some. I mean,
but why would she make it a separate thing when she pointed to it and she said this, and then she know damn well that's how her hair grew out her head. She talking about she got to do some a lot of things. It's hard to work with.
To keep it fluffy.
And then the interviewer says, "Oh my God, so it comes out like that? It's always like that?
It's so fluffy."
But I can straighten it, but then I will be European.
Ooh.
It is like the weirdest psychological cognitive dissonance I have like. And wait a minute, she all up in them Prada and European clothes talking about, I like to keep it authentic.
I mean, she had the red dress. I thought she was a Delta or something, you know?
A what?
A Delta. I'm like, is she a Delta? Is she in a sorority? You can't get more African than Delta.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, you know, you want to be blickety black, you know, you're a Delta.
I've never
moves.
Right. My mouth has never been moving, and then I point to something and talk about it as if it's separate.
Yeah, and I don't know too many people who refer to their hair as it. I mean, I'm working in the cosmetology industry. We definitely be like, hey, you bet not mess up my hair. You know, when they call, what's going on with my hair? I love my hair. Nobody refers to their hair as it. But remember, this is Planet Pluto Pseudo. This is our 6th episode. And so if you are a hair aficionado, then you'll understand where we're coming from. Not that we're hair obsessed. I'm just saying people just don't really refer to their hair as it. I mean, they do their wigs. Like, I know if you have a wig name, if you have a name for your wig, drop the name that you have for your wig or your hairpiece. Drop it in the chat. Let's see what your wig names would be. I know some people in the salon, they have some fantastic names for their wigs. I definitely hear a lot of Becky. So a lot of people call their wigs Becky. Afrolicious if they got the afro, so drop the name. Oh, Diva, come on now. Ronnie, all right, after this week. Drop your wig name. Hey, men, you have men units. Drop the name of your man unit in the chat. Everybody has like this alter ego. Mine is Kilolo, right? But y'all I have never worn a weave or a wig in my life. But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, the day that I wear a wig or a weave, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, boo, it's gonna be down to my booty. And I'm standing in front of a fan all day long. I'm gonna be Beyonce, baby. I don't know why do they put those wigs, and then they cut them. I be in the salon, like, I don't do weaves. Y'all should see me. I'm always like, oh my, such talent. How do you guys do that? I can't slay a wig for nothing, a weave. And so every time they cut it, I always say, what's the use of putting in a damn weave and cut it into this length? I mean, if you gonna put a wig on, baby, put the wig on. Y'all quit cutting them weaves off, spend all that money on that hair. Y'all better come on now. Come on, put them weaves on and wear them wigs like it ain't no tomorrow. He said, will it be lace? I'm not quite sure. What's up, Esther? I mean, I don't wear, but when I put them braids in my hair, right? I had the braids. Hey, Esther, them braids be down like my bra strap, and I put it up in the bottom. What y'all put my braids in? I'm gonna really be Kilolo. I'm gonna give me some gold, some dookie gold change. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, I don't get it. But anywho, that's our come on, get real. When your hair is it, you're African, and your hair. Just one last thing before we get into the topic. How does hair make you African? Any Africans in the chat? If you are watching us from the motherland, because apparently we're not Africans. We're Americans. How does hair make you African? And straighten it out makes you European.
No. She said authentic. I don't know if he means human. I don't know what she meant by that, but one of the things that we teach at the Afro Hair Science Summit, that we have to deal with the psychological aspects of racism.
We do, and this is why we have our
Sudanese.
She's South Sudanese. So hey, Lisa, so does your hair make you South Sudanese? Is there a South Sudanese hair weave we can buy by any chance? You got Brazilian, you got Peruvian, you have Indian Remy, any South Sudanese weave. I don't know.
I found it fascinating the way she talked about herself, and hopefully that we can really kind of work that out at the Afro Hair Science Summit, and we can start talking about ourselves like we are the parents of the genetic human being as we know as human beings on this planet now. And our genes express itself in many ways.
And I'm going to be honest. Who is that? Here you go. Thank you, Miss Sophia. She says her roommate in college was Angolan 4 generations, blonde, blue eyes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That's
Lisa,
what
I
I'm
used to
talking
feel
about.
that my hair is an Afro texture. I'm not loving myself, but now I love my Afro, so I'm willing to straighten it and do other styles. You're absolutely correct. Let me say this. Maybe one day I'll also do a presentation of. I'll do like a slideshow of my trip to Africa. But one of the delegates who came with us, she was this really tall, like pecan complex, sister. Her name is Chaz, and Chaz was really afraid. Well, I shouldn't say afraid, but she had reservations about going to Africa because she's your complexion, Cheryl. She's a little bit darker than you. And so because people was telling her like they ain't gonna like you because you're not dark. And so Lavina and well, we passed the brown paper bag test, I guess. Anywho, so when we got off that plane, hey, I'm from the projects. Don't get mad. I ain't never been nowhere. I don't know about y'all. Some of you people are very well traveled. But I never thought in a million years that I would ever be able to go to Mama Africa. So when we get off that airplane, what's the first color people you thought we saw? There it is. I was like, oh, well, we better stay the hell off of social media. Get your ass over to Africa. They all huge. Lisa is letting you know. She says, hey, they don't look alike. Miss Sophia told you that her roommate, there is no one type. When you go over to the continent, we need to just get over there. I like social media. Obviously, we're on here. I love books. I love documentaries, but nothing beats anything in life. Like you can watch an opera all day long, but you know what? You have to go and experience these things in real life. All right. So there you have it. That's the Key Lolo experience. And I'm going to lean towards Miss Lisa. She says, just love yourself. It's all good. All right. So let's hop into this topic about hair, the cosmetology education. And then we're going to move over to Naturalsphere. So first things first, Cheryl, I have some notes here that pretty much says, in case you guys are wondering, we are taught that means barbers and cosmetologists. There are so many editions of this I can't begin to tell you, but this is an edition of the Milady's book of cosmetology. And so the question that always comes up about this book is, who wrote it? Who wrote our standards? Now I couldn't find it, but the hair oracle. She said, I can tell you who that is. I was like this. Now who the hell just know? Only the oracle would. I done spent 10 years trying to find out. And Cheryl once said, I can tell you that. I'll send you the link. I was like,
I sent it to you, right?
Yeah, you sent it to me. And so the book was written by, his name is Joseph DeSilvas. That's DISILVAS. And basically his family owned like a barber supply store. A tonsure is the word they used back then. Do they still use that term, tonsure?
Tonsorial.
Yeah, tonsure. I'm like tonsure, sorry. And so so they owned this tonsure store that had these supplies, and so here comes the education. So he just wrote like a little outline and before a little pamphlet, and here we are over almost 100 years later, and here's what we have. So this is what we have now. Milady's also does barbering. Okay, all right. So this is our education. So a lot of things that people want to know about the education in cosmetology is the difference between like accreditation and non-accreditation. So before we kind of go into that, Cheryl, give us your feedback, just your thoughts, and if you are a cosmetologist, please drop in the chat. What do you think about this book, Milady? So, Cheryl, let's get it going. Talk to us about the education in cosmetology, starting with Milady's.
Well, but when he wrote that, there was no real standard. because, of course, you have to put together states' rights in having individual boards. That's why sometimes you go to different state, they may have different set of hours or requirements, prerequisites, right? But that is basically the turn of the 20th century. So, but it didn't come out of any expertise. Mr. DeSilva was not a professional. He didn't do hair. He didn't know anything about hair. He was only selling products. Here, once again, just like the hair system or the typing system, it's not governed, it's not created because of any real scientific or any type of, research or, of any, of the sort. But they do things because, of course, they think that maybe he does know something. So the boards, when they formed out of New York, was he out of New York?
He was out of, I think it was in New Jersey.
New Jersey. Yeah, same thing basically sometimes.
But
that's the start of what we call cosmetology rules and regs. And the education, of course, began at that point. And strangely enough, do you guys know of a wonderful, you guys should research him. His name is Pierre Toussaint. Pierre Toussaint.
Pierre Toussaint.
Pierre Toussaint.
Is anyone in the chat familiar with Pierre Toussaint? Not Toussaint Louverture.
No.
But Pierre.
But he was Haitian. But
he was Haitian. Yeah. Okay. I am not familiar.
First generation of African to land in the western portion of Haiti. Anyway, but he was
his name. I'm just typing his name in.
Pierre Toussaint, Toussaint, I think. Now Pierre Toussaint was so good of a cosmetologist and barber. I think if I'm not mistaken, okay. First of all, he is what you call the model Catholic. He's buried in the center of St. Peter's Cathedral on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan. He is venerated out of the Vatican, and he was obviously an African, but he was a cosmetologist and a barber. He was so good. Now, you would think that a Black hairstylist would not be buried directly in the center underneath the St. Patrick's Cathedral, the most important church probably in the Western Hemisphere. But he has like 3 or 4 streets named after him in the island of Manhattan. Very venerated. I think he's a saint. I think he's now Saint, but no, he is Saint Pierre Toussaint. He was venerated as a saint, but he was a barber and a hairstylist. And I guess to make my point, the education didn't come from supreme experts like Pierre Toussaint. It came from Mr. DeSilva that had businesses. These were business enterprises, and then they got into rules and regs. But they were, these books are not written based in expertise. I guess that's my
point. Let me just show you guys. I don't know how to do something here. Let me just share this so you guys can see. Share screen. Here we go.
You sharing the screen?
Yeah, I want to show them Toussaint. Well, here he is. Share. Okay, there he is. Here's Toussaint. He was born into slavery. Okay. There she's saying, yeah. So here you go. You guys can go ahead on and check the scoreboard for yourself. But Toussaint is definitely the man. Wow, there he is. Was a Haitian American hairdresser, philanthropist. He was brought to New York City. So most impressive. And so
very, very, very impressive. So impressive to the point where he was such a fabulous human being that he heard that his previous owner, husband died, and she had called for him to return back to Haiti, and to save their community name, that he was owned by these people. So word got to him in New York that the family was no longer an aristocratic level, and they called their owner, their slave back, and can you come give us the look of prominence by coming here and dressing up as a butler. And so he went down there and he did that. He bought all the food and all the champagne and served the champagne that he had bought.
wow.
And so the prominence of this faithfulness to to his white contemporaries, and just that he was, so now, but that was the kind of man he was. Now I don't know if me and you would do that,
Yeah.
there and make them look like they own me again, so they can now get some kind of merit and rank. But she later died, but he came back to New York, and I think he bought his wife's freedom.
Wow.
Through hairstyling. And I brought that story up because he was what we call a master stylist of that time. He croquinode, he did the powdered wigs. He made people's, his white judges, just all of the aristocratic people looked like they had thick hair, even though they had lice. No, seriously, that's what cosmetology started out as. I mean, Black people didn't start like that, that we didn't have, it's not built in hygiene. It's much more of a elaborate expression. But the cosmetology in the Western world, as we know it, in rules and regs that dovetailed into Milady, just was political and just
right. So totally separate. So our pedigree, if you will, when it comes to education, is not really birthed out of someone of such stature and acumen of a Pierre Toussaint. Instead, we have a salesperson who sees the moment where he saw some change coming, and he created a pamphlet. And then from the pamphlet, you now have the Milady standard of cosmetology. So now when it comes to cosmetology, we've got this standard. People want to know, what makes it worth the investment. So in the United States, when it comes to the investment in cosmetology, accreditation, an accredited cosmetology school is supposedly better than one that is not. Have you heard that one, Cheryl?
Well, accreditation only means that we have to look at it and see if it's acceptable. If not, we're going to ban you. That's what accreditation means.
Say that again. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm like, what you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, accreditation means that let's see what you are. Okay, Board of Education. Why do you think we don't have another textbook?
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
Because of accreditation process. Because if I were to write one, you were to write one, Dr. Morrow has written several. You are the expert in the field. You are who we go to if we have a problem. But when it comes to educating you to get you ready for the practice, we have to see what you're doing and see if it passes our standards. So
I have a clip on accreditation. Are you guys ready? So that was Cheryl's accreditation. So, on this podcast, remember, this is
Planet Pluto Pseudo.
So we're kind of like KRS-One. If you want to hear a fresh rhyme, you go to the source. So let's go to the source and let's hear what the accrediting people have to say about accreditation. Here we go.
There are several terms you're going to hear when you're trying to look at which schools to attend. Some of those terms will be non-accredited and accredited. Accreditation basically assures the student that the student is going to a school offering training recognized by the U.S. Department of Education. It will also assure the parents that their young people are receiving training in an ethical school of high integrity. It identifies cosmetology schools worthy.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
And it also assures the salons that the graduates are well trained at the entry-level stylist positions.
Okay, now did anybody catch that? This is from the accrediting people themselves. So they show a clip and they say that the parents who are paying for their children to go to perhaps a private cosmetology school would be in this high-end learning environment. And there they show a lady at the sink with a baby on her lap. I can guarantee you that is not happening. No, state board, you would be in a lot of trouble. Can you imagine a dentist checking your teeth with a baby on your lap? No,
that was just a whole bunch of garbage. Here's the hook. You saw all those little organizations. You saw all those representation, like when they say no taxation without representation. In other words, no license without representation, no education without representation. All of those boards are revenue generating organizations. And when you, Ladosha, went to the courts and you are going to city council and assemblies and you are explaining and pleading your case and the need for education, and you understand that at the end of the day, right, you as a professional are the one with the skin in the game. Okay. And they are doing a job. They may not even have that job next month. They may go on to a whole nother department outside of education. But at the end of the day, it is only to keep the status quo of what standards are. And standards, and because now I just always tell you guys that westernized trichology, cosmetology is born out of hygiene. That is why cosmetology is heavy sanitation, rules and regs and infectious diseases and things of that nature. Just imagine if if cosmetology accreditation or school or teaching the artistic science in beauty, what would an African that we would put in probably cleaning, but it would not be drenched in sanitation and infection. It would be more artistic and science.
And I'm so glad that you're saying that, because if you are aspiring to become a cosmetologist, we hope that by now you are definitely understanding that this licensure is really around the legalities to work and the the emphasis truly is public safety, which I am not anti. So for that, I believe, yeah. So of course we're not saying, you know, don't get your education, but remember here on this platform, we're giving you, you know, the pure and unadulterated, because a lot of people really think, you know, well, if you go to cosmetology school, you're going to get a lot of emphasis around hairstyling and hair cutting. And I think, was this the kid that never, hold on, what did he say? The kid in you never dies. He said, every student cut that I got, I went home and redid it myself. And that's because, you know, remember in that scope of learning, it's truly like a clinic. And you sometimes you'll get some talent in the schools that are just natural and they've been just born with it, or maybe they grew up in a hair salon. But those are common experiences. But the accreditation, Cheryl just put it, which I did not know that, it's really what you say. It's a money. A money-making venture.
It's a complex, and it has different levels in all of these different accreditation kind of groups. They're just
yeah. I think what they're saying too is that with the accreditation, you can expect like a certain standard. You can expect, of course, financial aid. Schools that are accredited. So if you need some financial assistance, then schools that are accredited can allow you to do that. Maybe the staffing practice. So they kind of have these guidelines that makes them eligible to get funding, you know, from the government to support the students. But the content, you know, in the education of cosmetology, I think this is where we are going with this conversation. And this is also why Cheryl and I, we are really in the throes right now. We're not making a big secret, but we are really in the process of writing a bill here in the state of Ohio to really do something different about the education in cosmetology by writing a bill about a mandate for curly hair science to be taught, because we need to raise the level beyond just public safety and sanitation. So let's look at another clip because people want to talk about, you know, when it comes to opening up a school, is like how do we move now that we have the accreditation? I mean, now that you understand, I'm sorry, that the license is primarily focused around public safety and sanitation, and you get the concept of styling hair, you still have that big gap, you know, about the actual education on hair itself. So here is a young lady out of Britain, Cheryl, I mean the UK, I'm not quite sure where, but Cheryl introduced me to this podcast called Texture Talks. And so she's often featured on there. So here is her take on how we should introduce education about Afro hair into barbering and cosmetology. But over in the UK, they call it hairdressing. So here we go.
Now, if we learn about Afro hair and the texture and the characteristics of Afro hair, you would know about the spring factor, you would know about hydration, you would learn about different products that you need to be able to define and hydrate the curl. You would learn about how hair lives in space, that is 3D and not 2D and flat, if you'd learn about Afro hair. Because if you learn about this texture, all the other curls on the spectrum, there would be no problem. You would learn how to speak to the client. You'd learn how to differentiate between products, what would be good, what's not so good. You know, you'd be able to offer them the service of cutting their hair. There wouldn't be such a thing as curly cuts. There would just be cuts that happen to be for people with curls, if you'd learn Afro hair. And ultimately, why would you not want to learn? Why would you not want to learn? I really don't understand why there's so much pushback with learning about a hair type if we are hairdressers. Like, we know that it wasn't available to us. We know this.
Yeah. So as we can see, this issue is not limited here to the United States, but it's across the globe. And so that is her effort to plead for higher thought processes, more better education. So what do you think about the push over in other parts of the world to move the needle on this education and barbering and cosmetology? Because she was really struggling but I felt where she was going.
Yeah. I think in pursuit of the different kind of functions, cosmetology does teach you how to be able to perform the service without getting a violation. And then, of course, equipping you with a set of regulations and a set of rules, right?
Right.
Because, like the gentleman kid said, in Black culture, we already come with a little bit of artistic skill from home because it's in the culture. And so, but the difficulty about expanding a global kind of movement of importance or deeming Afro textures important enough to have a curriculum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the Natrualsphere keeps putting it in just styling. That part. And not because of how it exists and how and why it is the most dominant prototype for all of the other variations within the spectrum of what the shapes can become, due to, just like we have various shades of melanin or carbon within the chromosome, right?
Right.
Those things get distributed. Well, because you have lighter and orange and red and black and blue and so many different types of, color expressions on skin. Well, you have though, and what goes, and you could have a straighter hair person with a darker skin and then have a tighter curl with a lighter skin, right?
Right. Right.
And so my whole thing is that is why it because it's just a style. A coil is just a style. A curl is just, they're going to act like it's not there. And power. Always remember, power. Who's in charge of the power structure decides the narrative, decides the pretense, decides the curriculum, decides the syllabus, what we will be talked about. And that is what you call accreditation. They're deciding
Right.
what to salad, like a salad bar. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But in the whole spectrum, they're going to say all hair is the same.
Yeah, they do.
But they're going to use the most recessive type,
right,
as the standard in which all of our knowledge base is based on. And
right.
like she said, if you just will create and make the dominant prototype as the standard, then once you get all of the techniques and chemistry and biology and scientific and artistic parts and components of that texture, well, then just apply it to all of the other variations because they get recessive from
I think one of the biggest challenges in our industry is that too much emphasis is put on the artistry.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about, oh, such and such could do this at home. I can't tell you how much hair is effed up in the name of art. And when I say, woo, child, y'all just don't know what people do to some hair to try to get it to do all types of things. And so when I say effed up, I'm just really speaking to like just the amount of goo that's on the hair, the amount of money, the time, just the ripping and tearing of the hair, all in the name of art. But I can tell you for sure that consumers are looking for a more sophisticated technician behind the chair. There was a time, don't get me wrong, they want a slave at the end of the day, but they don't want no dummy, on top of their head. They are definitely requiring. So let's move a little bit over into the challenge of the education that's pretty much centered again around public safety, sanitation. That's one. Then two, you do have this public persona. People really focus barbering and cosmetology around, the curls and, the talent of what you can, cut the hair. So the styling gets all the, hair coloring, all the attention is going to move to the hairstyle. So in that process, now we're over into the natural sphere, because when Mr. What was his name? Mr. DeSilvas, when he created this outline for Milady's, even in hairstyling, they really have too much of this textured hair in mind. And so now we're trying to move that needle over into the science, but now we're kind of stuck because the natural hair is what? The doppelganger. Yep. So that's a doppelganger. So here is what she says, she's calling this brand dilution. And so brand dilution is basically you're just kind of diluting what the purpose of it kind of means, what it says. So some examples she gave is stretching the capacity too thin, like a restaurant franchising so quickly it loses the quality. Think Carol's Daughter. Are you guys following me? Brand dilution as we move the needle on this conversation. Next up, she says introducing unrelated services or products, like that time Colgate tried to get into selling frozen dinners. Kind of like those cheap flat irons, and they started making hair care products. Didn't work. Right. Can't make. You would think they should be able to do it, but they were just kind of off.
You use be a natural next step, but
yeah, not the best example, but that's the closest I can get. And then last but not least, losing control of the brand. I don't know, words and actions of serially deplatformed conspiracy monger attributed to like the pandemic. So think Andre Walker's hair typing.
Think relaxers cause cancer.
Yes, totally out of control. Another example of that she gave, funny, she called that intemperance. See how I love Cheryl? So this kind of intemperance presents a challenge because, like she said, the example she gave was the apps. During the pandemic, her doppelganger, which is Naomi Wolf, said, if you track the people on the apps, then they're going to be able to take your information and like make you a slave. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like they said with the relaxer, it's causing cancer. And so she coined that intemperance. So again, you can see with this book, Doppelganger, you see the parallels that we're drawing here on what's happening in the barber and beauty and in the natural hair industry that nobody is really talking about, but we know that you guys really care. So before I show the next clip, I just want to give everybody the opportunity to continue to partner with us, but don't forget to do this.
Pampa me on, pampa me on.
All right, if you are liking this content, it's really important that you hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to share the information. If you know someone in this field who also loves hair, don't forget to share the information and then subscribe and hit that little bell so you'll know when Key Lolo and the Hair Oracle is going live. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we're going to show you as we transition to the natural sphere to find out what happened? How are we losing this? Just to get the conversation going, we're going to show the clip of the trailer to our documentary, The Narrative. So you guys get ready, and it's free right here on YouTube, so you can check it out. So hold on, let me pull it up right quick. Oh. Hold on, first I got to pull it up. Sorry, I'm coming. Okay, no, wrong one. There it is. Okay, I'm getting there. I'm learning, Cheryl. I'm learning. Here we go. Share. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Black. We were black. We were black. History will say that we were the generation that lost it all.
We were black.
Damn it.
White people are aware of it too, because white people now want natural wigs. They want wigs like this. Dig it? Isn't it beautiful? All right.
Damn.
Now, here's the reality. African Americans, we are America's cultural tastemakers.
We were black. We were black. We were black. We were black.
We lost it. We lost it all. Our ancestors, they gave us so much, and we lost it.
Fabulous.
All right.
Absolutely. Just
All right. There you have it. So I hope you guys definitely enjoyed the trailer. Again, that's the narrative. You can see that right here on this YouTube channel, and just click on it and watch it. It's a good, 30, 35, 40 minutes, a wonderful documentary that is just really about the scope of the plight of Afro hair, centered around Cheryl's father, the legendary Dr. Willie Morrow. So let's hop into the natural sphere. So we can see that the education in barbering and cosmetology is not really preparing us for what the marketplace is looking for by way of understanding hair beyond hairstyling. We know that the hairstyling itself is getting convoluted. It's getting way too much attention, and it's giving people a very false sense of security by way of just culture. Because I'm Black, I went to school, I grew up, my mom and my daddy, I got this. And so now we see something very strange happening in this natural sphere. So what are we to do, Cheryl, about this gap with so much emphasis focused on hairstyling? How are you going to move the needle? I don't want to hear shit about no damn Afro hair science. I want a two-strand twist. I want my hair moisturized. I want to close my damn cuticles. How is your science going to help us out?
Strangely enough, then when you talk about what comprises of the natural sphere is novice advice. It started out as novice advice, right? It started out as defiance against the establishment, against kind of like cosmetology. And then what happened after that, it was cultural cohesiveness, where it's us against them. Then, of course, homemade products. And then all of a sudden, what we did to our children's hair every day, every morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those boo-boos, corn, whatever we did to our children's hair, it actually literally became an industry. And then all of a sudden, adults who were in charge of the children's hair, doing their children's hair every day, they said, we now don't know how to do our hair.
It's strange. I know we have some cosmetologists in the chat. I see you. Ephraim is in the chat. What's up, Miss Sonia? What's up, Sherian, Sophia, Lisa? We see you guys in the chat. Thank you so much for rocking it out with us. That is very.
A mother would stand by her two children at a hair expo, right? And here's that doppelganger. Here it is. She literally said, I interrupted her and I says, oh, by the way, your children, are those your children? She says, yes. And I says, oh, their hair is gorgeous. Her son was in braids and her daughter was in ponytails. You twist it just like you did, 70s, 80s, children, right? But she stood up and she wanted to ask me a question. How do I take care of? She put a word in between my hair and she said, my natural hair. And I says, well, who does your children's hair? Oh, I do it. Ain't it gorgeous? It's pretty, ain't it? And I says, ma'am, you can't apply those same skills to yours. And she was so dumbfounded. And I says, ma'am, the problem is that your kids are not in the natural hair industry. You need to get out of it. Because you as an adult, you're in the natural sphere. So now you are locked into this, I can't do it, cultural hairstyling, twist outs. That's all little kids wear is twist outs.
Mm-hmm.
They got Vaseline, some pink oil, and some, you know what I mean? Some hair oil. And you're just putting it in a pot. I don't understand. The key here is that the artistic prowess of what Y2K Natural Hair did, it took it away from any other scholar that could be applied to it. And
say it again. Repeat that one more again.
The Natrualsphere took away any other subsequent component from Black people's hair that could be applied to it. It's only the coil, the natural. It's only in the cultural expression as it's attached to my identity as a Black person. It doesn't have chemistry and biology. It doesn't have anything else to it. It only is a conduit to create me an identity for me to make myself feel better about myself.
Yes. And that's
the doppelganger.
That is the doppelganger. I'm sorry for cutting you off. I can tell you guys this when it comes to education on hair in the Gambia. Okay. So the licensure in the Gambia is really not around hairstyling. And we hope you guys are understanding what's happening here with this thing called natural hair, which to me, when I tell you, I cannot say it enough. It is just wretchedly awful. It is the worst thing that has ever happened. It's so hard to communicate around this thing called natural hair. But in the Gambia, when I went there to help them, craft this curriculum, you know what their main thing was? It was respecting that, of course, the cultural continuity, but they wanted to put in, the importance of the science, the anatomy, all the other components around this hair. And they did not want people coming in and exploiting it. Like what we see a lot of that here in America. We will exploit a situation pretty quick. So the education was not just about the styling. They really want to elevate this and do something that's more along the evolutionary lines of hair beyond hairstyling. But in America, we're just really staunch on the coil, the nap, the lock, the twist, the braid. And it's really, it diminishes the possibility.
And I don't even think that it was so well thought out, because one of the things as Black people evolve and we get on the same page with our Y2K generation, that probably this has dovetailed into something else that they did not see coming. But they also have to also deal with the ramifications of their intentions and actions, as it has destroyed the economics of their prior generations. Inheritance. So because what I tell people when I tell natural hair care people or people in the natural sphere, what does the word Black in Black hair care stand for?
All right, let's pause for a minute. Okay, now we know it's a delayed response. So can you guys tell us in your own words, what does the word Black and Black hair mean to you? The Black hair care industry, Black hair care products, you know, Black hair care tools. Take a few moments out and just drop it in the chat. What does that mean to you? And then I have a clip that we can talk about, your statement on the whole selling out process, because we are diluting it. I think we are missing in Africa. There is, I keep saying in Africa, but in the Gambia, they really have this big heart on infinite possibilities. But in America, we're so compartmentalized. Really compartmentalized. So here we go. We got some good ones. Thank you guys so much. So Lisa Samuel says perhaps the Black in Black hair means Black people. Okay, that's a good one. Here we go. Okay, so something got lost along the way. Miss Esther says she had no idea how to take care of her hair on her own until she was in her 20s. And she thinks that was the experience of many curly girls growing up in the new millennium. Okay, so some parents, some people did not have their parents. So we do understand that. So no offense on the parents. We're not going there. You have to learn it when you can get it. Okay, here we go. Sophia says Black products, Black business, Black cultural norms from beginning to the end. Okay, that's a good one. Sonia says, she's talking about the care has been sacrificed for style. Powerful, Sonia. And then Shan says, I think Black hair care, that term Black means empowerment. So you have a nice plethora of responses. So what does the survey says? What does the Black and Black hair care mean? Get ready, guys.
Well, but before I say it, there is, and let me just point to post George Floyd. So now we have white retail saying that they're going to support Black brands. White venture capitalist firms are going to really start embracing, because we have this push for what we call Black-owned brands, right? And then
right.
we need more Black founders, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, but when you stop everybody, and I was, I think I was on some program a while back, and I said, well, wouldn't it have been the easiest thing? Now I'm talking to Black people. I'm not the white people in the room, right? I don't care where they are, because I'll embarrass us, because we have to start talking to us no matter who's around. Well, we may not get each other again. So I just said, well, wouldn't it have been better and easier and quicker and a shorter route to success if you just went to Black hair care? What do you think Black mean? It means that the founders were Black.
Okay.
Now,
all right.
So all of you guys are correct. But the thing is, why would we need Black founders if we already had Black hair care with Black founders?
Yeah, that
That
was always
so
something. Yeah,
right. It's that doppelganger again
there we
because
go.
that the natural sphere created an other. The other is the straw man. It never existed. So trying to do that, and that's the next clip, I think, that
Yeah.
where you gave your inheritance away, because at no other point in modern history, as long as black people have been in the Western hemisphere, had white retail stores and commerce and any vertical process known to man ever had their hands on the black beauty retail dollar until 2000.
All
And
right. So here's a.
gave it to them.
All right. So here's Cheryl talking about how we gave it away. Here we go. We have doctorates of.
And then we begin to create these doubles. So I'm speaking one language from one generation, and the generation that has accumulated and created the wealth and power and status and opportunity and features and benefits and opportunities from that generation, and you completely dropped it to create a whole new black person. The person in the chat, history didn't repeat itself. It's not rendering the same wealth. It's not rendering this history in the repeat has now transferred the $30 billion to white retails. And it never happened.
You went straight across the line, and we see how the education. Remember, we're just taking you through. This is Planet Pluto Pseudo. We are on our 6th episode. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Please share the content. But we're taking you guys on a straight timeline on the education of cosmetology and how it moves into, or its lack of movement into that natural sphere, because we're stuck. And I think Sonia Salam, I think you kind of caught it a little bit. We're kind of stuck, like this line in the middle between Cheryl and I on this hair styling. We cannot move this needle. And when we look at our education, it starts off with this DeSilvas, who was a salesperson, versus Pierre Toussaint, who had a higher thought processes, on and on and on. You guys can go ahead and look him up. So the focus is now on what? Public safety and hygiene. We're not getting that high thought level of a Pierre Toussaint. People are asking, how do we move this needle to encompass a higher thought level? Because the consumer, I'm telling you, the customers want a more educated technician behind the chair, which of course it yields a better quality of work for sure. That's income. So Cheryl just walked us through the giving it away.
Interesting enough, even the celebrity hairstylists are different from the celebrity hairstylists of, like we were talking about the last time, because they are owned by this establishment now. They are the brand, and the celebrity hairstylist is now it's the celebrity. But prior to when we had black hair care kind of encaged in 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s, the hairstylist was the star. You know what I mean? And it's just a whole different other at this point. And two, I think racism is affecting this generation different. So the need for an other identity as we keep subgrouping, because you do need a level of exclusivity to map out your difference. And so you put deference in between cultural expression. Mexican food. We all want real wonderful Mexican food, so we get a little squeamish if there was Chinese in the kitchen. You know what I mean? So there must be a cultural deference. So when it comes to Black hair care, the Natrualsphere kind of spread it and diluted it by saying we want to be accepted. See, they're in Black distribution in the beauty chains and beauty supplies. They were some separateness and exclusivity and discernment, because we service each other differently. We cut each other differently. There's just a lot of differences, but the reaction to needing to look coily, right, as it's more of an authentic Black person, maybe psychologically that is some kind of response to Gen Zers and millennials just dealing with racism different than Gen X and the baby boomers and the silent generation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. Let's take a clip so we can give you guys a look. Now, she's very, very popular here on YouTube. Now, remember, on this platform, we are most certainly not into shaming. Make sure you follow all of the people, on the platform. But I'm going to share with you just that whole Natrualsphere. So let's check her out and see what she has to say as we talk about, remember, we're stuck into this identity of the coil. And Cheryl just shared with you guys, perhaps it has to do with how this generation is dealing with racism compared to how we dealt with it, which was totally a little bit different. So let me share this. Here we go.
That we are no longer doing. So about a week ago, I posted on my TikTok some things that I just no longer do anymore. And I posted 3 of them and I got some really interesting responses back. So I thought it would be fun to just go over what everybody had to say regarding some old school natural hair rules that we are just no longer following. Again, I'm using the words rules lightly because these are just suggestions. There really are no rules. I was like so excited. I even made like a whole video about it. Now I'm blow drying, I'm flat ironing, I'm revaring, I'm doing all the things. My hair is very moisturized and healthy, and I don't feel the need to go in with like this pre-poo treatment anymore. I can just jump brush and a comb, and I'll only do that if I'm straightening my hair or blow drying my hair, so that the blow dryer or the brush or whatever I'm using can get through my hair. Reduce the frizz. I've even reduced the amount of styling products that I use. Like I don't even need to use that many styling products. I tried it all with my hair until I figure out what works, what doesn't. And also now, because of all the trial and error, we've got all these amazing products and hair tools that can help us keep it simple now. Like your work week, whatever is allowing you to feel good about yourself and is healthy for your hair, you just got to do what works for you, because everyone's different. Not everyone has time to wash their hair 3 times a week, and some people need to go of the wash day process. Pre-pooing is still great. I don't think it hurts. I just don't think that, especially if you're short on time, it's something that you don't need to do.
All right. So there you have it. I did a soft scrub so you guys can see. Now we see the natural hair movement. Everything that we've been saying all along, now they're saying
they don't do it. And notice the language. And Cheryl she caught it, so I'm going to copy off of her. Now they're over into cosmetology, with treatments and, and they want out because they realize, guess what? It ain't working. It's just not. And you guys know it's not. But we've got to move this needle. And so we feel that the science is a way to move the needle, but the Natrualsphere is caught. And like Cheryl said, maybe we're trying to find our identity in dealing with racism. Is caught up in the coil, because that still remains something that people are looking for, is this need for this moist, coily, perfectly coiled hair. Right. She found out that flat ironing, heat, with combination of some old school, she used that word, techniques in the salon, her hair is now more moisturized. And that just goes to show you the damage, the economic damage of transferring those billions of dollars of retail potential buying. We always talk about, well, black people got, the 500 trillion, $1 trillion, almost going to be $1 trillion in 2025 of spending power. Well, you just re-aggregated it into CVS, Rite Aid, Walmart, Walgreens, Target, Sephora.
Sonya
gave it away. When you guys had it locked in, and I am a generational wealth legatee, and I'm sitting here before you saying, if I don't ever work again, Black money makes wealth for Black people. I wouldn't like to read her comment. I'm sorry.
Okay, yes, she was saying that, we should get a little squeamish when we see these stores owned by people who are not like us. And then you have people running around, trying to push and promote this stuff. And of course, we're not saying that the diversity and the multicultural thing shouldn't exist, but we're saying on that higher thought level. Remember, the hairstyling to hair is it's kind of like it's like the icing on the cake. That's the easy part, because icing is sugar and lard. I mean, everybody kind of knows what that is. And you can do all types of cool stuff. You can squeeze it out and get it out of a can. You can make it. So we get that part. But there's something more. There's something higher to making a cake that is sweet and it's moist and it has icing. I'm sure a baker would have a much more in-depth conversation about all the inner makings of and workings of baking. And so the hairstyle is getting way too much attention and it's taking over, and we're just not able to do the things that we need to do. And so here, when Cheryl talked about she is of that wealth, she knows what it's like. Again, we don't plan this. So Cheryl doesn't know anything about the stuff that I'm going to record and share with you. So here's what Mick Jagger had to say, very similar to what Cheryl had to say. I'm just going to show you the article. Here's what Mick Jagger said. His kids don't need his 5 million fortune, so he is not selling. He's not selling out. He says he's not going to do it. He's not interested in selling his catalog of music. Everybody's rationale for selling out is what? They want their children to have this stuff. So here we have Cheryl Morrow. Did your dad ever sell out? Are those combs? Can you get those? Are Walmart? Is Walmart making those combs?
I can wait. I can literally wake up, get in my car, and tell my manufacturer to make these pink. And I can control, because one of the things that you guys don't understand, what makes Walmart and Amazon the biggest retailers in the world, or the commerce portals in the world. They're not a monopoly. It's called a monopsony. Look that word up. It's a monopsony, which means
hold on, y'all. Hold on, Cheryl. Don't cook it up. Look it up. All right, you got to spell that. That's a tongue twister.
P, like monopoly, but it's a monopsony.
Oh, there it is. Monopsony definition, a market situation. Oh, hold on, guys. Let me share this with you before we wrap this up. We dropping knowledge right here on Planet Pluto Pseudo. Let me share that with you. Here we go. Monopsony. Never even heard the word before, but here we go. A market situation which there is only one buyer.
Right. The monopoly is one seller. Okay, now, so what I'm saying is the reason why gas prices, and that ain't got nothing to do with the president, y'all. Stop all that craziness. Okay, shit ain't got nothing to do with the president.
Yeah, he ain't getting the oil right. Come on now.
Because let's just say, why do you drive by your gas station and then next week it's another price? Why? It's because if they buy it at $1, they can make a profit and pass it on to you, and the gas prices is $1.25. Because of the prices of oil, my point is that I can walk to my manufacturer and I can say, make these pink. Dr. Morrow created them in 1971. I was 5. No, it was 1971, 1970. Anyway, I was only 3 or 4. The point is, I'm 56, and I still. And so when Black folks talk about economics, because we can get into that at the Afro Hair Science Summit, but to teach Black people wealth is not to find your ass an idea and be your own boss. That is not what we're talking about. What I'm talking about.
You messed me up. I thought that was wealth.
No. I want you. I'm trying to tell you, girlfriend. Black folks got to learn how to have wealth behavior. So my point is, I hope I didn't lose my thought, but I wanted to just basically say is that old money is not old money as in terms of generations. The point is that what I do in 2003 and how I make my money, I don't make my money on my efforts. I made my money on something that was created before I was even 5 years old.
Well, the stock people gonna be mad at you.
But the point is that when I make this comb, the mold brings out 50 at a time, which means from 1.25 cents, I generate 50 combs. So if you divide 50 in 25 into 50, that means that it's probably 0.1 cent. That means if
2 cents, 2 pennies.
2 pennies, right? That means that I can sell it at 75 cents to a wholesaler. And that wholesaler sells it to the other person at $5. And then the other person sells it to the end user as $10. At the end of the day, I am controlling the price. I'm the synopsony. I'm Walmart because I make it. And because I can buy it at so low, I am controlling the gas prices. I'm controlling at what you're selling it at. Not the fact that I don't even touch a customer. I just sold it to a wholesaler. I sold it to a distributor, or I sold it to, whatever. The point of the matter is that is the wealth generation. Generation is just not generations as in people. Generation means that you're also controlling the different generation levels, which means that from 0 to here, I can say, I want 10 cents. Because it only took me 2 cents to make it. That's what white people are talking about. We think that they're talking about something else, and we think they're talking about something else. And that is the kind of conversation I want to get into. Yeah, but Richelieu Dennis of Shea Moisture, guess what he said? Oh, I don't want you guys to have any deference and exclusivity. I don't want you to have space in between that Pantene. I want you to be sitting next to Pantene. Who does that? When you go into international food and you want to buy Goya and black beans and Indian food and Filipino food and Japanese rice, they got a goddamn section
Mm.
And they have an exclusive aisle that gives them the advantage. They're not over there with Heinz and other shit. But black folks, for some reason, want to be accepted because what they're doing is that they're having some adverse effect and some psychological relationship in trying to deal with racism. And I think if we can just take texture out of colorism and identity and psychological kind of affects we're having, knee-jerk reactions, you know, because at the end of the day, you're giving away your generational wealth. You're giving away your estate, your likeness, your image, your blackness, your talk, the way you eat, the way you sing, the way you dress. You're giving it away.
And can I just say something? And thank you, The Kid in You Never Dies, because I saw that post come through. I did. I saw that, and you and I don't know if you're a guy or a girl, but that's a very powerful thing. And I remember, here you go. Here, come on. That part. Because man. That
and the one of the only the when you even talk about royalty and you even talk about the wealth and knowledge and all of the personality and all of the expressions that black people brought to the Western world, we rocked their world. We made it turn. We gave them the purpose of how to do things and how we brought our flavor. But you can't give it away. And we're not even saying don't do business with Shanghai. Don't do business with India. Don't New Delhi. Don't do business with London. Don't do business with, of course you do business. You make them pay for it.
Woo!
Just like they make us pay for every damn thing.
You just this chat on fire, sir. This chat is lit. Hey, y'all hit that heart button. Oh man, but so check this out. Are you guys thinking about what she's saying? Let me say this when she talk about selling out and how we're not in control. We don't have the monopsony. That's the word for the day. Let's go back. Let's take it back to our communities. Because when I went out to promote the Afro Hair Summit, right? I went into some barber shops, and some of them were like Arab and like Dominican. So when I walked in, when I tell you, I thought I was in a black barber shop. I mean, they had the fade, they had the, like she said, the language. I mean, they was blacker than me.
Right.
But you know what? They ain't want none of this damn black education. How you said the kid never dies? Let me post it up. Here we go again. Come on, rock with them. That part.
That's right.
I couldn't understand, like, well, wait a minute. Y'all look so black. But y'all don't want no black education.
And let me just say this.
Whatever.
Right. Do I need to make you understand when them white folks and everybody go down to them historical black colleges and get all that black wealth of physical prowess, that physicality, that drum dancing, all of that Africanness, that blackness? And then guess what? You let ESPN come in and see, that's the part. We're not saying that we don't want our babies on ESPN because we know that they faster, quicker, smarter, more intelligent, bigger. You know, we get it. The point is like Fela Kuti says, blackness and it's in its expression is expensive shit.
Come on, Fela Kuti.
That we don't make people pay for it.
Come on.
We don't make them pay for it. We're almost discounting the likeness and the. I don't get it. And let me just say this: you guys knew that we had a push between 2003, 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8 with the Black Beauty Supply, right? BOPSA, Black Beauty Supply Association, right? Natural hair killed it. Because guess what? We was too busy trying to get in Walmart. We was too busy trying to get in Whole Foods. We was too busy trying to get in Sprouts and Sephora, and we would actually get on social media and say, "Oh, I got an order. I'm now on the shelves of." Well, if you was really true to the game, why didn't you go to a Black Beauty Supply?
Guilty! Esther, lock me up here, Savant. Guilty as charged. I'm guilty. But I'm free. Hair Savant, meet us in Toledo on Monday, October the 23rd. Give us free.
You so.
Come on, Planet Pluto Pseudo. Get in the mothership and let's get the hell off of this planet, because that was me. This is why we're having the Afro Hair Summit. Hair Savant said, I'm so loving this. These are the conversations that we need to have, because even I had my own definition of wealth. I've never, ever thought of it. And I'm, like she said, we're not saying that we can't, partner with people and so on and so forth, but we are giving it away. When I walked into that barbershop, Chrissy was with me. I thought this was a Black barbershop. And to your point, Hair Savant, I'm not just trying to pump him up, but they only want the Black dollar. Let me put up.
Right. I'm sorry. And let me just say this. And let me just say this. Also, and then all of a sudden, here they come. We want you to have an easier way to get your products and services out. So we're going to give you a Spotify, a Shopify, a this and an Etsy and this and that. And guess what? What they don't understand, sometimes with opportunity is not what it is all cracked up to be. Okay, so now you got maybe 30,000, 40,000. Black people took their money, $50,000 to $100,000, and invested in Black ownership of beauty supply distribution, and not one influencer puts their products there.
Look at this. Look at how divine this chat is. Look at this. Look at this right here. Funny you would say that. LaMaru says, I always wonder why the YouTubers always said they were not sponsored. So this was just free marketing. I'm telling you guys, Esther, because I'm kind of feeling like you. I'm having an aha moment. I'm like you, Esther. I think I got it. You're saying exclusivity isn't about icing people out, but letting others benefit something you control. That's some
Miss Esther, Esther, let me say this to you. When you went into a Microsoft store, you noticed you don't have no Microsoft stores no more. You only got Apple stores in malls. The moment Microsoft told you it's not about ownership, it's about access. You can't buy a PowerPoint. You can't buy the software no more. Then you got to have a key now. And the key is in the ether. It's called a serial key. All you do is pay for access to something now. You can't buy the disc and put it in your you don't own it anymore. So at the end of the day, Black people have to understand that Black ownership is one thing, but Black control of something, access to something, Black access, because if I have Black access and Black control, then I am in the monopsony. But if I am dealing with Black ownership, I am dealing in monopoly. Does that make sense?
Let me tell y'all something. I can't talk. I can't manage the chat. What the heck did you just say?
Sis, we are talking about, when Miss Esther put in, it is about not what you just own. Because if I own something, I got to sell it. But if I understand that I am focused on controlling the markets and the avenues and the infiltration and aggregation and comings and goings of goods and things, then I'm controlling price. Do you understand what I'm saying? There is more oil in Cote d'Ivoire, in West Africa, than all of Saudi Arabia. But the point is that they don't want to enrich that region. So they act like it ain't there, because they don't want them controlling price. They don't want that. They don't want black hands controlling that kind of power. You had that kind of prowess and power and authority and influence and control and access in black hair care. Black, that's what it was called. That because it was black folks doing it for over 100 years. And that's why I am second generation, to the point where I can sell something that my father made before I was damn born. And what was on the jar? It said professional only, but professional use only, because he said, I want only white folks to have a portion of the retail business called the activator. But I want the service and the professional and the other stuff to be re-aggregated into the hands and the control of black folks, which own the salons, which own the beauty supplies. It was a system. That was the point of Nathaniel Bronner and George. You had to control it. Damn owning it. Because shit, when I own the black owned store, shit, I gotta sell some shit, which is fine, but I'd rather be able to make shit so I can control it and I can give people access who I wanted to give access. So he walked over to Comer Cottrell, said, here's the cold wave curl, we gonna compete. Oh, boom, right over here to the Gardners in Chicago and everybody. Now he said, let us compete. I had a conversation with one of my mentees' mother. She says, girl, I remember you when your dad did the shock treatment. So not only did he put in the cold wave curl, he said to all those black people, 1989 in the Radisson Music Hotel, okay, the curl's going out of vogue. We need to control the relaxer movement. I'm going to make the curl where it can come out and we can wear it straight. The point is innovation, exclusivity, we control it. But when the generation Y2K, their mission was to defy what their ancestors built already. And they saw it as opposite. They saw it as a doppelganger.
I'm trying to tell y'all, I feel like the Mac. Y'all remember the Mac? What he say? Motherfucker, can you buy that? Can you buy that?
Can you buy
that? Anybody on here buy that? I mean, I am this podcast. I'm telling you right now, there are no words. Ineffable. We got two words.
That's why I have to teach and I was just teaching in a cohort the other day. I got to teach my black people how to get. It's even higher than European economics. I can't describe it, but it's a critical way of how you are to think when you are the table. Damn the seat at the table. I got to get you to understand that you are the table. They're not discussing anything else but how to control blackness and its expression and its multiculturalism and all of its facets and many. That's all they talking about.
You heard what Roland Martin said. African Americans, we are America's what? Cultural tastemakers. This is who we are. Sophia was in the chat saying, let me show, before we wrap this up, let me just remind you guys, please come and join us in Monday, October the 23rd for the Afro Hair Summit in Toledo. Here we go, guys.
If you would let me do your hair.
Damn, that's
guys, you can get your tickets at afrohairscience.com. $65 gets you lunch. It gets you wonderful education. Bring your notebook. Bring your notebook. Get you your own special notebook so that you can take notes, get your questions, get everything ready. Licensed professionals, natural hairstylists, please join us. Again, that's Monday, October the 23rd. The hotel locations are at the bottom of the page. They're about 10 minutes away. Again, lunch is included. 4 wonderful topics. Cheryl is going to be covering number 1. She's definitely going to talk about the coil mechanics, hair loss, also the future, cream wear, hardware, and then more debunking the myths about coming out of this natural hair movement. And this is just, yeah, okay, I hear you. Shit. He said, we the world's tastemakers. Good Lord. I'm with you, the kid. Oh my gosh.
Let me just say this about this young man. His art, and he is huge in the graphic novel, comic, and artistic world. And he has the Black Comics trade show and con in San Diego. Key Lolo, you got to come. It is absolutely dynamite.
All right. Is there a website we can go check out The Kid Never Dies?
Come on, Keithan. Come on, Keithan.
Come on, drop your information in the chat. Okay, so we can find you. This was a dynamic podcast. Cheryl, you never cease to amaze us. I never know what I'm going to learn. Sometimes when I'm talking to Cheryl and I'm driving, I'm not gonna lie, I just want to pull the smoke over and like, wait a minute, shit, hold on, I'll be like, you know, when Cheryl is your friend, it's truly a blessing. I'm with you. I love Cheryl. We really, really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Because we just don't get it like this. I think Miss Sophia, she is definitely on a higher thought level. She was rocking with you all the way. Esther, we were like, oh snap. We were having these aha moments. Hair Savant, you know, left, right. That's my boo. I ain't even seen you already, but I already know. Me and him gonna be in the class like, shut up, shit. We gonna be be quiet. Don't be asking no questions yet. We already know we gonna be in the front. This is a small, intimate. This is not a very large class, guys. No more than 30.
We are learning from each other. I understand what I'm gonna bring. However, because sometimes y'all be pushing my wig back too. Here we go.
Black Comics Day. 4th at World Beat Center, Balboa Park. Please email me at ladoshaw@yahoo.com. I'm going to pump that up. Maybe, guys, we can go ahead on and come over, travel to San Diego. It's beautiful there. I'm telling y'all, we're about to sign off on it. We've been on here for almost 2 hours. When I say it is blackety, blackety, black, he's going to send over the information about Black Comics Day, February 3rd and 4th at the World.
It is amazing.
Amazing
artistic features and having Black people in the Afro sphere and at the Afro. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Afro first is just real. Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
all right. Thank you so much, Esther. We are so honored to have you guys here in the chat. I really appreciate you. Have no idea. We are all on this journey together learning. So again, don't forget to visit afrohairscience.com and check us out on Monday, October the 23rd. Share this with your cosmetologist and barber. If you're watching this and you're not a professional, but you're like, well, maybe I should tell. Yes, you should tell someone. But in the meantime, Monday, we are going to be over on the dumbest shit that people say about Black hair at 6 o'clock p.m. and 3 o'clock p.m. PST, as we're talking about spirituality and hair, specifically 9 ether hair, crystals, and what does the Bible say about Natural Hair. Okay, this ought to be interesting. And then next week, we're going to take this conversation a little bit further. She talked a lot about the whole understanding how you got to get control, but how can we get control when we have our distributors and our product sales rep? So let's talk about who are Black distributors? Do we have them? And what about these sales reps? How are they helping us in the industry, or are they hindering us? So if you know a sales rep, if you know someone who owns a distributorship, by all means, tell them to join us on next week. I think that's a great topic. Cheryl, any last words before we sign off? This was powerful. No words, just powerful.
Just comb pink this October, and you can get them at the Afro Hair Science. I will make sure that I have them in Toledo, but we got to represent. We cannot be the only industry that does not reach out into the cancer community. The NFL is going to be pink. Everybody's pink in October. We have our clients. We love them. We can't, we are devastated when our clients leave us and when they're sick. And so we try to do all we can. We are the number one disposable income, cash rich businesses in Black communities. We've got to get our shit together and pour in. Okay. We have disposable income, and we are going to talk about also, because the only answer to all this Natrualsphere is for us to put beautiful, gorgeous beauty supplies inside of our salons. And then that's how we do it.
All right, guys. There you have it. All right, you guys got it. So please join us on Monday. Everybody get in the chat. Don't forget to share the content. Hit that thumbs up button. If there's a topic that you would like Cheryl and I to discuss, by all means, please drop that in the chat. Also, don't forget about our book of the month. It is called what? Doppelganger by Naomi Klein. And what we're doing with the book is we're drawing parallels on the doppelganger of the natural hair movement against the backdrop of barbering and cosmetology for us licensed professionals out here. And we appreciate you guys again so much. And don't forget, on this platform, you know what we say when we're signing out, right? Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you and we love you so much.